So I would like to introduce our speaker today. I have the pleasure of introducing Shauna Ahern, a longtime member of our congregation, whose children participated in our children's religious exploration program. As many of you will remember, Shauna is the author of the book Enough. It was her memoir that she published in 2019. An amazing read, I must add. And she's written 4 cookbooks with her husband, Dan, earning them the distinguished, much sought-after distinction of being James Beard Award-winning authors. And I just have one of them here. And they have 4 under their belt. In addition to being a writer, Shauna is a teacher and a storyteller and has many other accomplishments. I'm looking forward to her talk about how her personal and religious beliefs have changed over the years. This will be the first of 2 This I Believe services in this service year, 25-26. Shauna, come on up.
Good morning, everyone. One of my favorite things we do here, and we haven't, is if you will join with me. It is good. It is good to be. It is good to be here. It is good to be here together. That, I think I probably believe more than almost anything. It is good to be here. Not just in this funky little building, which we love, but also here in this moment, trying to be alive. And we can only do that together. You have a lot of really sad and lonely poets who tried to be isolated and did all by themselves, and it just never worked because we are social beings and we need to be here together. So being here together with you today to be able to talk is really a thrill. So I'm not going to talk about food at all. It sort of slips in. But we don't write cookbooks at all anymore. We did that, and I don't know, we sort of were like, well, the first cookbook got named one of the best books of the year by New York Times. The second one won the James Beard. The third one won like the IACP, very established culinary thing, and was like one of the best of that year. And we're kind of like, yeah, we're done. Where else is there to go? Because for me, as much as I love food, and we still cook, and I write about food in my newsletter, food is still only the gathering. Food on the table gets people together to tell their stories and to listen to each other. And really, what has come clear to me is I could pretty much write about anything because I just need to write, and I'm a storyteller. That's what I am before a writer, is a storyteller. So I want to tell you a story. About 3 years ago, I agreed to coach my youngest child's baseball team. The league found out they had too many kids to keep the 3 teams to a minimum, so they had to spill over. They needed to make a 4th, and they called me and said, we need a coach right away. Can you show up tomorrow? So, of course, I said yes, immediately, because I believe in the satisfaction of hitting the sweet spot of the bat and hitting a triple over third base. It's one of the most joyful experiences of my life, because all my life I've believed in baseball. So I said yes. And that's how I came to stand on the dirt right around the pitcher's mound, talking to this like ragtag group of 3rd and 4th graders, including our own child, in early spring. And I knew someone who decided to be my assistant coach that night, which is great. And so I was giving my opening season talk. I told them how happy I was to see them. I told them that we were going to enjoy the heck out of this season. And I told them I probably coached baseball in a different way than I had ever received before. And I hoped that they would trust me. I taught them baseball by learning how to believe. So the first week, I taught them how to believe in their feet. Danny has said this for years. We say to our kids when we're walking on driftwood, it's like, believe in your feet, you can do it. Keep yourself grounded, of course. But more than that, baseball is a game of skills. You got a bunch of ragtag kids who are wonderful, and they've been told you're good at this, and they don't actually know anything. And so my job was to break down the skills so they could be at ease on the baseball field. So In particular, I started with Believe in Your Feet because I wanted to teach them footwork. There is this little foot wiggle when you're in the field. If you know baseball, raise your hand if you like baseball. Okay, great. So little kids, when they play baseball, they do this. And they're just standing stock still, which means somebody could just knock them over. If the ball comes and they go, right? They just stand there and they reach down for the ball. And I said, the first thing you need to do is believe in your feet. So when we are on field and you see a ball coming, even before you see the ball coming, you have to do this. And they looked like I was a moon man, of course. What are you talking about? And I said, because if you're preparing to take action, you need to move. You can't stand there and let things come to you in life. You actually have to move your feet so that when the ball comes toward you, you're already in motion. You can immediately just move over here and get that ball. So dart around, wiggle, be nimble. Well, they didn't believe me at first. A number of them said, this isn't how I've always done it. And I told them that this is why belief is more important than past experiences. Belief is about the future. If you want to become the baseball player you want to become, where you feel good when you're on the field, you got to trust me. So yes, you've always done something a certain way. That doesn't mean it's the best way. That doesn't mean it's going to help you grow. That doesn't mean it's going to help you change. Are you willing to change your mind and trust me? Well, the first practice, no way. What is she doing? And of course, I'm a woman, so they were kind of like, but that faded quickly. And by the second practice, they started to believe me. They started to catch sharp grounders right in the sweet spot of their glove. There is nothing more satisfying for me. And once they felt that satisfaction, they were like, maybe I should try what she's saying. Or especially when they watched other kids on the team enjoy that satisfaction. So we spent all week on feet. I taught them how to place their feet in the batter's box, where to stand with their feet, jump, not again, but a little bit of wiggle, a little bit of movement, and then how to step forward with their feet when they're ready to hit. We got to swiveling your hips later. I showed them how to throw the ball by stepping toward the place they wanted to reach. Most of them were still throwing like this, which of course is useless and will blow your arm. So they resisted me, but one after another. They were like one kid, then two kids, then three kids, and four kids were like, I see what you're talking about. So they started to believe a little bit. Time for next week. The next week was believe in your eyes. If they are throwing like this, what they're trying to do, there's no joy in this. It's, I need to get this away from me. Where are you throwing? You're just trying to make it happen? So I lined them all up on the backstop fence, the dugout fence. They're all on fence, and I said, pick one spot. It's this big. Find one spot on that fence, and the entire time you're about to throw, only look at that one spot. Because if you're going to envision a different life for yourself, you have to believe it can happen, but it's so enormous, you can't possibly take it all in one spot, 2 inches. Deal with that first. So they started to listen. I'm like, look, move your feet the way I've been teaching you. Believe in your arm. But believe more that that spot, you can hit it. And you want it. You want to hit that one spot. It's so satisfying. So they resisted, but, a little less. And after about 10 minutes of throwing, they could hear each other throw that thwack of the fence and the metal and the boom. And they could look over and see, that guy's throwing really well. She seems to be doing, okay, I'll try it. And then we believed in believing in their eyes at the plate, in the field, and particularly if you're playing outfield, to just watch for the way the bat cracks in the little tiny curve, and you start to realize, I got to go farther in right field because it's going over there. Now, was I asking too much in 9 and 10-year-olds? No. They're perfectly capable of this too. We all are. In fact, try to get them younger. It's better. Look, I'm not going to say that everyone fell into playing like the players in Field of Dreams, like they were just joyful and they could hit home. Not going to happen. But there was a little less whining and a lot more focus. Week 3 was believe in your hands. If you play baseball, you need soft hands. You're ready. You're ready for that ball to come toward you. You hunger for it. But you don't stand there like, I'm going to catch this ball. I'm going to catch this ball. And it goes right over your head. You got to believe in your feet. You got to move around. But also, soft hands means you can move them like this. You don't need to get so stock straight. And then also, if you believe in your hands, you know to pause. You know how to pause. When the ball comes in that satisfying thwack, you also know, okay, stop, ground myself, come back, then throw. If you believe in your hands, you know you can do this. You just don't throw it willy-nilly. And we started playing games that week, and some of them had good hits for the first time, and they really connected with the ball. And I believe in connection. Week 4 was believe in your joy. Some of them were trying to get home runs all the time, of course, like, I'm going to hit out of here. And none of them could hit a home run yet. It was okay. A couple of boys were really naturally talented. But then, especially this one kid who was a pitcher, Greg, I'll never forget him. He could pitch a ball already in the 4th grade. It was impressive. But he was so mad if he didn't pitch a great ball every single time. And he got tantrumy, and then he broke into tears, and then he was embarrassed, and he was crying in front of his friends, and then he got more mad. And I tried to help him calm down and do the things, but it was like that week 4, I said, hey, Greg, you are so talented. You really do have a talent for this, and you could go far. But you know what I'm not seeing? I'm not seeing you enjoy this at all. You're so wrapped up in future thoughts of who you think you should become. You're not here right now. How about you go on the mound for a minute? Show me what it looks like when you enjoy throwing the ball. Well, it took about 10 balls. But he finally did. And I said, if you make the point of being out here with joy, no one can stop you. Because if you're enjoying this, you believe in it. And you believe that you could be great if you just put in the work. Not that each individual pitch is an emblem of who you are. So, he was like, yeah, right? But I made a point for the next couple of days of pointing out and praising any time he smiled. Anytime he relaxed, anytime he threw a ball with joy. I was like, yeah, look at that. That's amazing. You did it. He was hard to crack. But one day, eventually, I saw him smile on the mound, like a big, big smile, and I thought, got it. And then he pitched 4 no-hit innings in a row. What's the point of doing something if we don't love what we're doing? Week 5, I taught them believe in your team. Now, if you're hearing all this believe, you know that I am a huge Ted Lasso fan. This is not exactly a question. I did not make this up. This is exactly what coaches do who believe in their kids and don't want to win. But you want to teach these kids that there's something greater than themselves. And being on a team where everyone is kind to each other, it feels amazing. And so I thought about John Wooden's pyramid before I did all this. And I realized I didn't care if we won, just like Ted Lasso. I have a tattoo. I wore the wrong shirt, but I have a big tattoo, which is the Ted Lasso believe sign with his finger pointing toward it. That's how much I believe and believe. I just wanted these kids to become the most relaxed and powerful versions of themselves. You can't relax and feel powerful if every single pitch needs to be a strike. You can't do it if you're standing out in the field not paying attention and the balls go by you, feel like crap. The moment, that flow moment of being in baseball or creating art or listening to music or anything that puts us in this we are here together is what life is about. And so I try to teach them that without sounding quite so didactic like I am now. We did not win the league. If this were a TV movie, it would be like we won the league with the believe. Of course, not even close. We were the 3rd out of 4 teams. So, hey, pretty good. But one of my very favorite moments is there was one kid who was just mad, another kid, and he clearly had some neurospiciness. He did not want to play baseball. His dad wanted him to. He did not feel seen. I worked hard to try to make him feel seen. He still got mad the first 2 or 3 weeks, just not, this is dumb. But I had created a believe sign, yellow sign with blue letters, and I put it in the dugouts. And I was like, you guys, this is what we're doing. We're going to believe we can win this game. We're going to believe we can do well in this game. We're going to believe we can enjoy this. And there was one kid, and it was right at the end of the season, who never got a hit. I could never convince him to pick his bat off of his shoulders. So he just never got a hit, strikeouts all the time. But my very favorite moment of that season was this kid got up, and I saw the kid who was not happy at all in the dugout. I was going to get teary thinking about it. He went over and grabbed the Believe sign, and he stepped to the front of the dugout and went like this to his teammate. Come on, you can do it. And the kid got a hit. Who cares about championships? I don't believe that winning is the key to anything. I believe in that moment. I just actually got an email from someone that's 3 years later. His kid's name's Gustav, and they moved to Germany. And he said, I want to thank you because we are still using everything you taught Gustav about how to deal with his schoolwork, how to look at life, you are still coaching him even though you don't know. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. So the word believe comes from the originally Old English in the 1200s. And originally it meant to have faith or confidence in someone. And originally it meant, after that, to hold dear. Or to love in the Old Saxon, or in the German, to care, desire, and love. Believing is about caring about a topic, about an argument, about a person, about kids playing baseball, bad news bears as they were. But now we often associate the word believe with what came about in the 1500s, which is a conviction of the truth of a proposition or alleged fact without knowledge. Boy, that sounds charming, doesn't it? And that's why believe is now associated with political fervor and religious fervor. And I believe in this, and you cannot persuade me. My God is sending me to heaven, and yours is sending you to hell. Well, that's fun, isn't it? What's the joy in that? Believe is now associated with religious or political fervor and being certain of something without facts. I believe in facts, in specific details, in keeping ourselves grounded in the real world right now. So I don't believe that popular understanding of belief. I also believe in vaccines. I believe in scientists. I believe in storytelling. I believe that the best way for us to know each other is to listen to each other's stories. So that's why I prefer the original meaning of believe. It's to believe is to hold dear, to care for, and to love. Think about that. What do you believe in? If it's without love, it's just more angry furor. It's just more loud people on the internet. Boy, anything. We went to go see Wicked for Good. Loved it. But of course, there are people who don't understand musical theater, so they don't understand that Act 1 is the same movie in two parts. So Act 1 is always bright and funny and catchy songs, and it catches you. And then the second one is, oh dear. Darker, harder, slower, and all of those things coming to fruition. So I'm seeing people all over going, what the heck happened? That movie, the first one was so great, and now this one's so depressing. Yeah, because we don't want to deal with hard things in this culture. We don't want to talk about the hard things. But I believe that talking about the hard things makes us less alone. And that's why I prefer the original meaning. I don't believe in hope. Now, this is me being a writer and a word thing. Hope is the thing with feathers, as Emily Dickinson said, and I love Emily Dickinson. But hope to me feels much more evanescent. I hope that happens. It feels more passive. It feels more like the thing with feathers that might happen and shake around. And believe is super strong. I believe this, not I hope this. And I think that what we need to do, all of us in this crazy time we're living in, is to start less doubting, less hoping, less pre-planning for emergencies, and more belief. Because even though I believe in birds, and I love them so much, I don't believe in the thing with feathers. Love itself is not about data or certainty. So if we need certainty going forward, that I need to know that this will end and Trump will one day not be president. Well, yeah, that'll happen. Does that mean that we're all going to be done and do a ding dong the witch is dead party in the street? I mean, hope so. That doesn't mean this is done. But if we believe, and this is Martin Luther King's quote, I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality. This is why right temporarily defeated is stronger than evil triumphant. Right temporarily defeated is stronger than evil triumphant. Love, especially unconditional love, requires a resolute determination to forgive, to see through our mistakes, to try to change our mind and see it from a different person's perspective, to keep moving forward, even though the facts suggest you should step back. I believe that unconditional love is the most powerful force in the world. I believe that taking action from a place of unconditional love instead of needing things to go your way is the hardest work in the world. And we can do that work with an active gratitude practice. Because really, belief comes from gratitude. I'm so glad you're in my life. I love coming to this space on Sundays. I'm so glad I know my husband. This morning, our 11-year-old was like, Dad, how did you pull Mom? All that is, absolutely. Believing in something, an idea, or a sweet spot of the bat means you are deeply grateful for something. And you want it to continue. You want other people to have this thing. And that's an action. That's not sitting around hoping. Gratitude is actually an active practice. So I'm just going to give you a few things that I also believe. I believe that watching movies in a theater full of people laughing is always better than streaming on a laptop. I believe that sodas are generally wretched, except for a Dr. Pepper in a tall glass with pebble ice on a hot, hot day. I believe what I heard RuPaul, my favorite drag queen, say the other day on the Dan Harris podcast. Dan Harris writes 10% Happier. He sort of bring Buddhist light, and he said to RuPaul, "What do you believe in?" And RuPaul said, "Ever since I was the boy who fell to earth, I have come to understand the wisdom of three things: laughter, kindness, and a big fat ass." And then Dan Harris laughed, and he's like, why do you believe in a fat ass? And RuPaul said, "Oh, I think it's pretty clear. So, we need more of that." I believe deeply that everyone deserves good food and the chance to eat it with good people joyfully. I believe in karma, which will come back and kick people in the butt eventually. I believe in naps. I do not believe I can fly. I do not believe that fame, success, or unyielding power is the ultimate why of life. I believe with all my heart that every being on the planet has equal worth and dignity, and that's why I'm here. I believe in asking why. I believe, and I believe in belief. Thank you.
Thank you, Shauna. Let's hold a moment of silent contemplation and worship, an old English word that means to consider things of worth, and a generous, abundant silence.